Well, good day, folks. How y'all doing today? Hope you're having an awesome day. Me, had a pretty good day. I went out to run some errands, and I stopped by what used to be an old Margolian's department store. I mean old, like hardwood floors, big spiral staircases, terraces, multi-levels. Just a really cool old store. Well, it's been repurposed. There's a variety of shops in there, cafe, a lot of craft vendors, flea market kind of style stuff. There's one section in there where they have a lot of antique jewelry, a lot of antique glassware, things like that. Kind of I think they purchased from a lot of estate sales and whatnot. Well, occasionally they'll have a pocket knife. And today they had one. And it's kind of a neat one. And here it is. Old Hobo knife. Comes in a nifty little leather belt carry slip or sheath. And here it is. That's a big hobo knife. Comes with a bail, which is in good shape. Not all bent and twisted and banged up. You have a very large spoon, and you can't have a spoon without a very large fork. Now these are both stainless steel. And then on top of that, you have combination can opener, bottle opener. You have a saw. You have your main clip point blade. And if you look closely here, you can see, I catch the light right, it's stamped or etched Japan. Now it's kind of interesting because the blade is only sharpened on one side. So you can see your edge grind here, but on this side, no edge grind. And then you have a rather beefy looking pair of scissors. There's not a great edge on these. They'll need to be tuned up, but they still function. And then lastly on this side, you have this sort of Warncliffe style utility blade, and it only opens to here. So I guess you could use that as a draw cutting knife, maybe cutting open some boxes or something like that. Some tools have a good bit of snap left into them, some don't, so that'll be part of the cleanup. This will obviously be a project knife. And then on the back side, you have 4 tools. You have your corkscrew for opening your wine bottles. You have a combination file and screwdriver. And then you have 2 very similar, what I guess would be a punch, and then a sewing awl. So from my understanding, the US government, following World War II, commissioned the Japanese government to make a lot of these style knives, kind of to help rebuild their economy. Now, this isn't a high-end piece of cutlery by any stretch. You can see here your bolsters. I was thinking first they were tab, but it looks like they're actually one-piece construction. So perhaps they were made this way and then folded over and then pinned. Pins are kind of rough looking. The covers are made to look like a jigged bone. You can see here they've recessed away to some degree. The bolster seems fairly tight. And again, like, your pins are not beautifully rounded over pins or anything like that. Everything looks to be steel except for the fork and spoon. But unfortunately, this one has a little bit of damage that we'll have to address. So that will be part of the cleanup and repair. You can see your corkscrew is not sitting in flush. That could be a matter of dirt in the channel. But the biggest issue is you can see some separation here on the frame. And I think what has happened is somebody has taken the screwdriver and either used it as a pry bar or used it on a screw that was just too tight for the structure of the knife, because you've got an awful lot of play here. And if you look here, we have a pin right here that is protruding through. And then on the opposite side, we've lost the head of the pin here. So it's possible when somebody has torqued on this screwdriver file, they pulled the pin through and bent or spread the frame a little bit. So I'll have to pound that pin back through or tap it through, and then I'll see if perhaps I can clamp it in a vise and try and bring that liner back in a little bit. The scales, I don't know if they'll be up to that kind of pressure. I think they're synthetic. It's hard to say. But you can see they've recessed a bit away from the bolsters. Not so bad there, but you can definitely see it here. It's possible they're bone and they've shrunk a little bit. It's hard to say. But they seem awful. Unless there's a gloss on it. I don't know. I'm just not sure. It'd be nice if they're bone. But anyhow. So that's the tools, and that's the damage we're going to have to work with. The overall length, excluding the bail, is right about 4 3/4 inches. Your main blade comes in at just shy of 3.5 inches, with a cutting surface about 1/8 shy of 3 inches. So just in my opinion, a cool find. I don't think they're a horribly uncommon knife. I'm sure they were mass produced in great quantities. Probably dates back to the 50s or 60s, possibly the 70s. I've done a little bit of research just after picking it up. And I don't know if there's specific variations. I've seen some where the sewing awl did not have the hole through it, and some where it did. Just some very minor variations. So it'll take me a little bit more effort to date this one, but 50s, 60s, 70s. It's a big spread, but it's in there somewhere. I'm sure they were produced for quite a while. There we have it. My adventurous find of the day. Anyways, thank you all for tuning in. look forward to this one in a future cleanup or post-cleanup video, and we'll see if I can't get that damage fixed. Anyway, y'all have a great day, and if you're going to be a hobo and travel around the world and hop some train cars, take a hobo knife with you. You're really good for opening up a can of beans and then eating that can of beans. If you're lucky, maybe you can throw some wieners in. Anyway, you all take care.